Hi, I'm Senator Tom Garrett from Virginia's 22nd District. I want to thank you for watching this Week 2 General Assembly session update. This week we're going to keep on to one subject. Last week we talked about a few of the bills that we have, but this week I want to speak specifically to the war against our constitutional right to keep and bear arms. It was a policy of our office following last year that all the legislation that we intended to carry we should have put forward as early as possible, and so as such we filed a number of bills early. Got legislative ideas from across the 22nd District, and really we're ready to go when the General Assembly session started. But as is often the case in the course of human events, circumstances give rise to the need to take additional action beyond that which one might have anticipated in advance. And that's the case with our Second Amendment constitutional right. In the wake of the tragedy of the shootings in Newtown, Connecticut, the knee-jerk reaction of some is that it's best to take away the liberty of law-abiding citizens in order that some might be protected. But I think that Ben Franklin said it best when he said that those who would sacrifice freedom to preserve liberty deserve neither and will lose both. The right course is to address the mental health issues and the underlying problems that cause people to do these things, not to attack the inanimate objects that these people use to do these things. As a result, today I filed, prior to the deadline with the Clerk of the Virginia Senate, a joint resolution along with Senator Bryce Reeves of the 17th District. And I'd like the opportunity to read this resolution to you. And so here we are. Senate Joint Resolution recognizing that the Second Amendment to the United States Constitution protects an individual's right to keep and bear arms. Whereas the Second Amendment to the Constitution of the United States protects the individual's right to keep and bear arms, and whereas the Supreme Court of the United States has found that the Second Amendment protects the right of individuals to possess any bearable arm commonly used for lawful purposes in both Columbia v. Heller and applied to the states in McDonald v. Chicago, and whereas some in Washington, D.C. have made clear their intent to press for laws that would restrict the lawful acquisition and possession of firearms and ban many firearms commonly used for self-defense, hunting, competition, and target shooting, now therefore be it resolved by the Senate, the House of Delegates concurring, that the General Assembly recognizes that the Second Amendment to the Constitution protects an individual right to keep and bear arms, and be it further resolved that the General Assembly, on behalf of the government and citizens of the Commonwealth of Virginia, hereby intends to use all of its lawful authority and power to support the Second Amendment to the United States Constitution and to protect the rights of individual Virginians to keep and bear arms. And so what does this mean? I've often pointed out as we engage on a crusade here from my office to ensure that we don't push down further unfunded mandates to the localities, that the localities do a pretty good job of informing those of us here in Richmond when we increase the burden that they bear at the local level. It's disingenuous, I've said many times, for delegates and senators to return to their home districts and say, hey, send me back to Richmond, I didn't raise your taxes, when instead they sent mandates down to localities that caused the localities to raise your taxes. And so the duty of the local government to inform the state government when the state government oversteps its bounds or creates burdens upon them that make it difficult to do their jobs is the same duty that the state government has with the federal government. And so what this resolution will do when it passes the General Assembly will give us a tool that I intend to send to each member of Virginia's congressional delegation, informing them that we at the state level will check their federal power as is our responsibility, and that we will stand up in the Virginia General Assembly and do everything within our lawful power and authority to protect the individual rights of Virginians to keep and bear arms. It's our responsibility to send that message to Washington. This resolution will help us do that from the General Assembly here in Richmond. I'm Tom Garrett, and I look forward to seeing you for Legislative Update number 3 next week. Have a great day.